good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob, me, your sensei. And what's shaking bacon? It's on around 6 o'clock. It's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful day. I stayed around the deep green because they all leave. So as long as it's beautiful and I can get things done, I did that. A little cooking, a little cleaning. I ran a few errands. I was in Babylon. It's right near Islip, Whee! So what is one love? What is love's one love? What is love? Love is unconditional. There is no condition to love. It isn't like, oh, I'll love you if you do this, this, and this. If you don't, oh, man. Well, that's conditional love. And that's the major problem in the world today. Why all the conflict and murder and killing and death and poison and the lack of gracious respect and open humility, humble grace of hospitality. These are all things that a righteous person, a human, right? And when you're not that, you're not human. You are occupied, You are, having one of those moments that you are being, taken over by greed, avarice, ignorance. Oh, here's somebody saying something. Oh, let's see. I got the notification. I'm good. So, Duncan study, what is love's co-creation? And what is one love? And what is love? Other than that's the only thing that exists. Everything else is illusion. I was in a deep green, as I was saying before, and nobody was around, so it was quiet, and it was lovely. And then they all came back and turned on their boom boxes. It is unconditional will of God. Yep, that's it. That's love. And when you read the Old Testament, it seems like God's a pretty pissed off dude. Get up my lawn! Not really. Basically, the word F-U-C-K means fornicate under church and king, right? And pretty much all through the Old Testament, all of Adam and Eve's children continually do the same thing Adam and Eve did, and that is they put their will above God's love. And in that, if you ate from the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, you would die. What does that mean? You would fornicate. What does that mean? You would be unconnected from love's unconditional co-creation. And that's what Adam and Eve had in the Garden of Eden. Now, we're still in the Garden of Eden. We're still here, This is the Garden of Eden, right? But we destroy it every willy-nilly way we can, right? And it's almost impossible for us not to. You can, like me, I live on $400, right? And I say, how do you do that, says Al Bob? Well, I don't buy anything. If I don't buy anything, then I am not consuming any of the unsustainable consumables, but, you buy a little something like this and it comes in a wrapper that's shriek in plastic that's, put in, little styrofoam bubbles that comes in a box this big from Amazon, right? And it's amazing. You go to the supermarket at a certain time and they're stocking up the shelves. I mean, people just suck that stuff off the shelves. It's unbelievable. And everything comes in a box. And they basically, break the boxes down and shred them. Me, I go in there and I grab 5 or 6 boxes because I use it to differentiate things in my life. This widget from that widget, right? And I recycle. I keep using it over and over and over and over and over until it disintegrates to the point where I burn it. And when I burn it, I heat water or I cook so I don't chop down trees. So now I'm living in the material world. So, I have material stuff. I'm in this material car. I'm talking to you over this material internet and my internet friend, my laptop. But what Token study says here about love's unconditional, you know, and now people, you bump into people, especially if you bump into them in a repeat manner, like someone you're dating or living with, or your parents, or your brothers and sisters, or people you go to school with, your neighbor, right? And they annoy the crap out of you because they do stuff that is like they don't even care that you're there. You do nice things for them. It's like they ignore it. They don't say thank you. They don't say please. They don't say anything. They're just, you know, and that is the materialist kind of way. That's the egocentric kind of way. That is the, sinful kind of way. Now, these are all inappropriate, insufficient words to describe this, right? Um, and you just have to, I study the Bible. I go to lots of different churches on their fellowship day of studying the Bible. And everyone is like a lawyer, And in the old, in the Bible period, you had in the temple, you had the rabbi, who was the teacher. You had the Pharisee, who's like the businessman of the temple, runs the temple bank. And God set the temple bank up to help his people, not to make a profit, right? And that's why Jesus kicked the money changers out of the temple, right? And that was like what got him nailed to the cross. And he knew that would get him nailed to the cross because before he did that, they were eyeing him to be their poster boy. Well, he does all these great miracles and he'll jack up the profit margin by a lot, Just like Tucker Frederickson is like, I mean, he got fired from Fox on purpose. I mean, Fox did it on it's nothing gets done just like, oh my God, no, not really. And so Tucker is lining himself up to be the next president, right? The president we had before Jojo, the used car salesman, was because everybody in the Senate in the United States is a used car salesman, right? Snake oil salesman taking money from the man, from the corporate structure, right? And when Tucker said, hey, national NPR is, you know, state radio, state television, and he's right. But what state is he talking about? Nebraska, Cincinnati? It's a state, corporate state that public radio and public TV represent. You just watch, public TV's news in the evening and the first 15 minutes. Thanks, Boeing. Thanks, Linton Industries. Thanks, on and on. Thanks, Mobile Exxon. Thanks, and if everyone just slowed way down. And that's what I do. I slow way down, right? And when I slow down, I consciously intent, meaning I think about what I'm doing. I'm looking at what my 20 is, I'm conscious of where I am, of what I'm saying, what I'm doing. And back in the day when I was just in the flow, as the dude, I could be in the flow, maybe 30% of the time. Now that I'm conscious, I'm waking up, and because to get out of bed, to get over the pain that I feel every time I wake up, um, I have to have conscious intent and conscious awareness. And I have to of love, conscious intent of love, conscious awareness of love. Because the only thing that keeps me alive is the photonic energy, the prana of love, right? And that's what, I died in 2014 and I came back and I dragged myself up to this level of homeostasis. I lost 260 pounds. Um, but, none of my anything works. I have to put myself in a harmonic state, of homeostasis, which is love. And every time, something annoys me, it, shakes up my homeostasis. It was one thing being out here all by myself and just communing with, Mr. Bunny and Mr. Mole and Gertrude Butterfly. Um, and they're still there. It's very interesting. They stick around within my 2 acres. They don't flitter around anyplace else in within that I see. Right? I don't stop and stay there. And the other interesting things, all of the dogs that these people who are brought to, like keep the bad people away, they all come down, and it's quite interesting. They sit right on my property line, and they look attentive and wait till I come out, and I sit on my chair, and I will say, "Come," and they will come one at a time over to me and have me rub their ears and rub their back, and then they, you know, kind of move over and lie down, and then the next one shows up, and the next one, and otherwise, when they are up with their alleged family owners, they're always fighting, 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 fighting. But when they're with me, they lie down and go to sleep. And once in a while, they get up and come over and lean on me and roll over and have me pat their tummy and rub their ears and that's unconditional love. And once in a while, I will give them a little treat, a little dog biscuit. I always have a couple in my pocket, right? But I don't give it to them all the time because to train a dog, you don't give it the carrot and the stick. I never use a stick, right? At the worst, I kind of, wag my finger at them. That's the worst I get to that. But the carrot, and I learned, so I had a dog at 10. I was a real sick kid my whole life. From 0 to 10, I was sick. And I was a little peanut. I never grew. I was about 4'5". At my tallest, at about 9 or 10. Right, I'm a little guy. Me and Vincent Salvatore was we were the two shrimps in our school, and it was quite interesting. Vincent showed me that being a shrimp is not a bad thing because people that don't see you, they don't bother you, they don't pick on you, they don't do anything, right? And so Vincent was very good at being invisible, and he showed me how to be invisible, and I was very good at it too. But I had these three little guideposts of Doctor Do No Harm. Don't get involved unless you have a workable exit strategy to get the innocent out of harm's way. And don't get involved unless you can learn something about making things better. Right? So that is my motif. That's kind of what I rule. So But having that one also manifests you speaking truth to power. Right? Now, power doesn't really exist. There's only one real power, and that's love. That's the only truth, love. Right? So, if Adam and Eve really had anything on the ball, they would have realized they didn't need to eat that fruit. You know, God basically said that so they would eat that fruit because he needed them to, with their free will, to choose to go through this experience because God needed this experience for itself, right? Because God, in essence, is a work in progress. Right? As we understand the deeper fractions of mythology and the mystery schools and science and theology, those are like the four legs of the table, the high table that, the, hidden hand rests itself on, right? And so all you have to do is open your consciousness um, to Jesus's unconditional forgiveness and God, open up your heart to God's unconditional love. You do those two things, you see everything very clearly. It's not very tough. So, when I go to these fellowships and talk about the Bible, I say, guys, you guys go on and on and on about liturgy. What is liturgy? But, you are litigating God. You're being the lawyer of God, right? That was the Pharisees' job. And no, it's very simple. God is love. Jesus is forgiveness. That's it. It's not, and Jesus isn't Christian per se, because Jesus has been here since and in the beginning, all things were dark. And bang, right? What happened? We had the Big Bang. What? It wasn't the Big Bang. In essence, what happened was God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, one thing, right? They realized they were kind of stuck. Just like me being here at the Deep Green for the last 20 years. It's been great. It's been, nature preserve. It's been, my solace. It's been a great thing. But God said to me, so what? You're going to stay here and watch the grass grow? And what's really interesting, I said, okay. Obviously, you want me to do something. I have no idea what it is. This is team sport, This is good. So I'm just going to start bringing things into your life and you're going to see what it is. And I will give you total backup. I'm always got your back. I'll always be here for you. I'll always tell you, not what to do, but insight. You need insight. I mean, you're very good. You do have a good, insightful mind. You do have a gut that really reads things well. And last few last few meals in new restaurants, I read. I come, I see, I find the manager, right? And I have the manager be my, um, server because they're interested. There's nobody there. They got nothing to do. The other people are, I can tell they're the manager because they're not the ones rolling the knife, spoon, and fork into a napkin. They're like looking at the book, answering the phone. And I'll come and say, hey, me, lunch right here. Oh, yeah, sure. Sit down. Sit down. She brings the menu, and can I have a cup of coffee and a glass of water with lemon? Sure. She goes up and gets that, comes back. So let me look at your palm. Right? And we're off to the races. And so the last 4 or 5 meals I've had out and talked to you, I've done it at a place where, I had that. And I kept drilling down on this person to the person was like, how do you do this? First few things were, maybe, coincidence, but no, how did you know where I was born? And how do you know that what my childhood, how do you know? Well, I don't tell them the answer is two things. Human beings are Mr. Um, potato head, meaning there's only so many patterns. And if they start showing this, and this pattern, I can then see this is what their path has been, right? And then they'll say, "So can you tell me?" I said, "Well, things about the future, I can only give you a rough motif of how you will act to certain things. I can give you some heads up. If you change this, this, and this, you may have a better outcome. Right? But it's up to you, and it's up to God. And God's the only person who knows what's going on. Nobody else does." And I answer those questions, and they start to cry and sit down at the table, and I pat their hand, and she goes, You must charge for this, lots of money." I said, "Nah, I used to, in the corporate world, but now you want to buy me lunch? Oh, sure, I'll buy you So I've already ordered from the server the most expensive thing, knowing that that's going to happen. So I've had a few good meals, and I only eat about a third of that meal, and then I take it back and turn it into other things, right? Because I have no refrigeration, right? So people give me food expecting that, oh, here's a couple of chicken roast. I don't have. I can cook things up, which will make them last longer. But they're, in the wintertime, that theory is not bad, right? But now it's getting warm, and it's going to be a warm. We're having really wet um, spring, and it's like what it was 20 years ago. Rains at night, and it's sunny, and it rains kind of in the morning, and then it starts to clear by 7, 8. It's overcast, and that's a good time to get things done outside, so you don't get barbecued. By 11 or 12, the sun is coming out pretty strong. If you're out, you are toast. It's like a microwave oven. And that's where I go under the trees in my hammock and read a book or type on my little laptop here. And that's how, or I, like today, went out and did some errands. So that's, that's was my day, and that's kind of my everyday. But God has plans for me. I have no idea what it is. That's why I started doing this YouTube, reaching out into the world. And so, I'm doing that. And AI comes on, usually right bang right off the bat, and now Mister Mister Tolkien studies. He's gone off to do something, and it would have been nice if he asked me more questions because hey, that's what I'm here for, right? Answer some questions. Now it's been 23 minutes or so. Is it? Yes, 23 minutes. How much juice do we have left? Oh, we probably have another 30, 40 minutes. So anybody shows up, I'll start answering questions. Anybody who watches this, a good deal of you watch this as, um, what would I call it? You know, wallpaper. Let's see if anyone answers the phone. Okay, okay. Do. Here's
saying, "Be quiet and come out of him." And when the demon had thrown him down in the midst of the people, he came out of him without doing him any harm. And amazement came upon them all, and they began talking with one another, saying, "What is this message? For with authority and power he commands the unclean spirits, and they come out." And the report about him was spreading into every locality in the surrounding district. Then he got up and left the synagogue and entered Simon's home. Now Simon's mother-in-law was suffering from a high fever, and they asked him to help her. Was died grandfather. We get a close-up look at David's tortured life as a celebrity. In one sequence, Apostle Sight falsely.
Okay, enough of that. Do. Still with Jeff. This is the lucky guy. He's also a busy guy. He's going to school. He's got a little kid, his wife, his sister's daughter, his mom, who's not doing very good. And so, hey there, buddy. It's me. I got a bar too. Up on top of the hill. I'm not in my deep green. I'm not in the man cave. I'm about a mile away, top of the hill, where I kind of get it. 89% phone signal, right? 11% maybe won't be there. But I'm also on my live show here. My devices are crapping out on me. I can't have the duality of multiple devices, which helps me do a better show. But anyway, such is life. And life is the only truth about life, my friend, is love is the only truth. So that's what we were discussing on the show today. And there are not many people here, 0 folks, but more people watch it. I can't get any feedback on my channel because my other device is dead. When I look at my site from this laptopy thing, I can only see stuff a year ago. I can't see what's going on now. So, and that's kind of like the world. And I can't play things off my other device and put it on this device. So, anyway, such is life. If that's my biggest problem, I don't have any problems. Well, I hope you're physically feeling better. I'm sending you good love and energy to heal you and help the rest of your family be well in the joyousness of love's co-creation's homeostasis. And I look forward to our next conversation. Love you, buddy. Catch you later. Boop-a-doop-boop-boop.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen. To send your message with normal delivery, press 1. Thank you. Your message has been sent.
Okay. Boop-a-doop-boop-boop. Let's see what GB's up to in the Rainbow Gathering. Do-do-do-do-do. Hey, there he is. Where are you? Are you? You might have said I can't talk. Okay. Do-do-do-do-do. Let's see if homeboy.
Alberto?
See? Quesadillas.
Oh, you know exactamente what you are doing. I've been trying to reach you, by the way. Your mailbox has been full. I thought that, maybe you'd gone to the mountain.
I am in the mountain.
A higher one.
I'm pretty high up. Oh well, we're on the live chat here with the clan on YouTube, just to let you know. I have been, limited by material things, but not spiritual ones. Um, I every time I freaking empty that, 15 spaces out within a day, it gets full up with spam. It's like, really? I don't often have every device working at the same time, but today I do. So I am every time, and it's been nippy enough in the mornings where I wear your coat.
Oh, that's great.
And I gave the first master and commander to a buddy of mine who was a captain of a nuclear submarine. And I thought,
The novel is a little light on technology, but
no, it
it
isn't.
definitely has captain.
It's great
Yeah.
on technology. It's 18th century.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're really very, very. He's almost as the guy who wrote Moby Dick. That book was great on technology of like whaling.
Whaling.
Yeah. That scene where they're melting the blubber down to oil. It's like, that's pretty amazing.
I mean, how else are we supposed to light our houses?
I don't know. Why aren't we not flying jet planes on whale blubber?
It could have been the rocket fuel of another age.
Now it's just sushi.
Well, just remember that I'm sure that just going over the basics of its materiality,
Mhm.
whale blubber has to be heavier than jet fuel.
I would say so, yeah.
They don't call it blubber for nothing.
I know. Blubber for nothing, man. That opens a whole nother door of
That's a song by Dire Straits, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Refrigerator, lift refrigerator, blubber for nothing. Yeah, that's it.
That's it, yep. Yeah. So how is New York doing?
Well, it's the temperature's been nice for a couple days. We have, some itinerant car washer, drug dealer idiots that have migrated to our block, attracted by a fire hydrant. So, water source. It's the same thing as we had to deal with in the deserts.
Yeah.
You have a little wadi or a little oasis, and before you know it, it's full with Hasidim.
Yep.
Or
whatever you want to be, going on about. I've been out here in the deep green for 20 years, and for 18 of it, nobody was here. Because every time some rich person came by to look at some property, I went out there in golden underpants and a plastic Mickey Mouse banjo and a plastic straw hat. And as they would slow down with their mouths open, I go, "Boy, you got," and little Mickey Mouse banjo played Deliverance, and I would just crank it, and I'd say, "You got a pretty mouth," and they would drive away. And that was.
Hang on a second. I'm having a question here. Yes. Caucasian wingnut. I went to the
David, Caucasian wingnut, is that a after, a before or after meal delight?
I just have to say, by way of explanation, that Janet and I went to the Brooklyn Botanical Gardens today.
Ooh, very nice.
Where we're members, and there's a tree there that's, if there were a God,
Mhm.
it wouldn't have been designed very well by that particular God, but because it's bulky, it sort of falls apart, it has big branches, it's 20 foot around or 10 foot around in the trunk, but in any case, the name of that tree, because everything is clearly marked, was Caucasian wingnut. And when I saw it, I said, I have known so many of them in my life. But in all truth, veracity,
Yeah,
that's the name of a tree.
I love it.
Caucasian wingnut.
Yeah, doesn't say what year they named that, did they?
No, it doesn't. And and it doesn't cover Ray. Another variant on wingnut.
I mean, we that 5, 6. How many years was it? 6 years. Um, tap dancing in the Lower East Side. Man, we went through so many variants. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Would have been a great time to have had a pandemic. I mean, really.
Oh, those pandemics are a lot more advertisement than really. Even really good ones never really wiped enough people out.
Yeah, for the old days when they really had a good pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
this one, they tried to engineer, and still it was like not, it was like having a hangnail, really.
Actually, Al, I think it did kill a lot of people.
Well, it did kill. But would they have died anyway? That's the question.
That's something they would have said about you, Al.
Exactly. And I'm still here.
So probably you wouldn't have, but if you got a real good dose of that one, you would have died. And people say, well, he was a little bit overweight. He probably had some peripheral issues.
Yeah, exactly. I would have fit that wingnut really good.
Yep.
I mean, there was actually a time when I was, what's it called?
A Caucasian wingnut?
Yes, but Caucasian obese wingnut.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you now.
Yeah, I'm down to 198.
Wow,
I am skinnier than when you first met me.
Al, when I first met you, you were not skinny.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think I mentioned a week ago to somebody that when my roommate first moved in, he brought in a wheeled garbage can and full of clothes. And I was like, what is that? He said, that's my dresser. I have a system.
Right. Still works.
Well, anyway, it's good to hear your voice, but I have a couple of things in the fire.
Okay. What are you grilling? What are you grilling up?
Bay scallops.
Ooh, yes.
With a side of angel hair pasta that I'm going to use the juices from the braised scallops to give a little bit of flavor to it. So I got to really pay attention to.
Yeah, you don't want to burn that shit. It's so easy.
No, I don't have it on yet, but I'm about to put it on. So I should go to that. But
so are you? My last question to you: is it briquettes or gas?
No, I'm using gas. I have a gas stove here, and we also have an induction cook surface. We can go any which way.
Right.
And then I also do have barbecue grills on the roof.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
This is in a kitchen. I wouldn't dare unless I had more information. I wouldn't really dare do scallops at a barbecue.
Yeah. But that would be, like tightrope. You'd be just about to fall off. Yep.
Yeah, it's like one of those situations where you ask for advice. Just how much do I cook the caviar?
Yes. Okay, my friend. I'll call you again when I, sooner.
Let's do it this week, sometime soon, when I'm not doing what I'm doing.
What's a good window for me to call you?
Anytime.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. So,
okay,
you tell me the whole story about GB and his merriment in New York.
Oh, he's not staying with me this time. We were booked already. We're starting to move into the high season.
Yeah.
But for you, we'd throw the bastards out.
Throw them out. Well, I can sleep on the roof. I have no problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bud. Love you.
Bye.
Oh, do 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 do. So that was DB. Oh, boys. Oh, Colonel Sanders is just below me. So that was Gabe and I ran a homestead. We were homesteaders. We took over abandoned buildings and put homeless people in them. And if you want to get homeless people up the street, you give them a house, not a mission to stay, not a bed, right? Or a hotel room. And there are a lot of houses out there. Okay, who else can we talk to? Let's see, how much juice we got left? Okay, a few more minutes. Do, 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 do. This is my other New York brother. Do, 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 do. What time is it? Oh, it's 7 p.m. Okay. Oh, there he is. Here, I'm still here. It, okay. So, are we talking?
Hang on a sec till I get my earphones.
Okay, get your earphones.
Where'd they go?
Are you in your car?
No, I'm near my car.
Okay.
All right, so hang on one second more.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Walking to the store. I'm gonna cut out for a minute here.
Okay.
A little tunnely thing that kind of doesn't do great signal.
Yeah.
I'll be back on the other side in about a minute.
Okay.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
For some reason, you're pushing.
I'm pushing through. My dynamic personality is pushing through.
You're working inside
the no zone.
Now I got earphones.
Okay.
No, they're not in my ears. Okay, now they're in my ears.
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
You hear me now?
Yes.
I hear you too. And we are live on my YouTube channel. So just so you know.
I could blend in my accountant who's calling me right now, and we can all three of us be on.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Jerry Goldenbroich from Credit Union Financial Corporation.
Oh, that's who we like. Yes, he's a money man.
He's a former IRS guy, so he knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff.
But he's my age and your age, so he's also losing his.
So he is he a New Yorker like we were, or
a Staten Islander?
You know, that's close enough.
Yeah.
She lived next to Tony Soprano. We're down by the ferry.
He's in the middle there.
Did you ever visit my Staten Island? I had a little like storefront apartment right like almost across the street from the ferry.
No, I don't think I ever got there.
No. How about my on the 86th Street boat basin? I had one of those little housey things on the boat basin.
I remember hearing about it when you were, you were in town.
Right.
You lived up there, so I never got the invite.
Yeah, yeah. It was one of those things that people you could take the A train and you still had to walk like 8 blocks to across the park and
Yeah.
to some people got it was pretty. You could get mugged, but it was pretty. So is things any more desperate than they were when we were there in the 70s?
No, things are okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, I've had a few run-ins in the subway with, like, guys that are just harassing you, or they're basically people that are going off their nut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They should be in an asylum. But they're
Yeah,
not.
and then back in the day in the 70s before everything went off the rails, until Ronald Reagan threw everyone out of the mental institutions in the 80s, that's where they were being taken care of. And we didn't really, I didn't ride the subway that much. Did you in the 70s?
Yeah, I went to City College.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes.
Took the A train. I remember this guy on the A train. It was the funniest thing. He was always there. I'm sure you saw him. And when the A train would go up to my college at 125th Street,
Uh huh.
there's a point where they would really be going like, fast.
Right.
And that subway would be rocking back and forth. And every so often it would sort of bang in a way.
Yep.
And there was this guy who played the saxophone. He was blind. He was about 4'6".
Yes, I did see that guy. Yep.
And he played Old Lang Syne, and that's the only song he played. And he'd be walking through the car playing Old Lang Syne, and when the car would do that rocking thing and he happened to hit a pole, he would just stop because it like knocked the sax out of his mouth. And then he would never pick up where he left off. He would always go right back to the beginning. It was almost like a machine, like damn, and then oh, the quiet. It was the craziest thing, and I would see him like twice a week.
Twice
going
a
to City
week.
College.
Yes, I do remember him because I had a girlfriend up in the South Bronx, so I used to take it from way up there. And coming from up there downtown, that sucker really went fast. It went
Yeah.
fast going up, but coming down was wow, really fast.
Yeah, sort of scary fast.
Yes, yes, kind of like this, the rides at Coney Island.
Well, there's some of the city that's still like that, with like it's just
Can you
strange
speak
that-
into your microphone a little better?
Well, I don't know where my microphone is.
Oh,
Is
okay,
this
there.
it?
That sounds much better.
Okay, so now I'm like holding the earphone wires to my face. I see women walking down the street doing that sometimes.
Uh huh.
Oh, you solved my problem. I wondered why nobody can ever hear me talking.
Yes.
Now here's a cool thing.
Yes.
Here's a guy with his brand new Volkswagen license plate Triple E, and he's got two wheels up on the sidewalk, and for some reason there's two clementines next to the two wheels,
Huh.
like traffic cones. They're
Yeah,
orange.
yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
Maybe his
reporting-
vehicle is
reporting.
not operative.
Reporting live from the streets of Brooklyn. What else you got going on?
Well, I'm just out here in the middle of the deep green. I mean, I'm in the middle of woods, like You went to you came up to my school in Virginia one time, didn't you?
You mean the hippie domain on the top of the mountain?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, this place is like 100 times more deep in the woods than that.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've been here.
Oh, wait, this is your place in Tennessee?
Yeah. And I've been here for 20 years. And when the pandemic happened, all the cockroaches from California and Florida and Texas and Charlotte, they all came here. And I used to be able to keep them at bay because they would have to take this really, I call it the death road. And they were always told to take the worst way in. And so I
yeah,
would be
you were
prepared because
saying.
I'd hear them on one side smashing into things. And then when they came down the Forest Service Road, I'd be out there and I'd have little golden underpants, and I'd be totally naked, golden underpants, and a Mickey Mouse plastic ukulele that played Deliverance with a crank, ding, 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 and I had a plastic straw hat. And when they drive by real slow with their mouths open, I'd go, "Boy, you got a pretty mouth," and that kept them away. And it was like my only entertainment. So I have no television, no anything. I'm up the road on top of a hill, and my neighbor is nice enough to let me use the Wi-Fi, and I can talk to you. So anyway, they are coming in more and more, and they're bringing all of that with them, and so my beautiful little place of God's country is quickly dying, and so I will probably be bought out and go someplace else. So I have no idea what that is. But, God was saying to me, "So you want to stay here for another 18 years and just watch the grass grow?" And I guess God is right. It's time for me to go up and do something. I have no idea what it is, but it'll be something. So that's basically my story. I'm sticking to it.
What kind of car you drive? Same one?
So I don't hear you at all now.
Oh, I don't know. Still talking. Or down by Greenwich.
He must be talking to somebody else. I think he is, anyway.
Hang on a minute. Put you on speakerphone.
Okay.
But you can you
Speakerphone.
hear me?
Yep. I can hear you.
We all hear you. Hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm buying some feta cheese.
Ooh. I'm calling up everybody in New York, and they're all making dinner at the same time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm at the all-in-one market.
Yeah, all in one. We're in Apple.
All right. We're broadcasting this live on the internet, this conversation. I'm not sure why, but you're part of it now.
Yeah, me too.
All in one. So they do brain surgery and jet engine repair.
Well, it just means they have a lot of things, but they change their name pretty regularly because of, you can get cheaper insurance that way. And I like their name. It was the Pickles and Peas restaurant.
Oh. Well,
Which
that's a
sort of
very
some-
limited dietary. You can only
Yeah,
have.
they've expanded a lot.
They've expanded a lot. Now it's everything. Okay, gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
they like going from extremes.
So I don't know why my earphone thing cut out, but now I have you on speakerphone.
Yeah,
So
it's fine. It's good. It's getting the ambiance of the audience who isn't even there is appreciating New York City as we speak. So has it? It hasn't started to be summer yet.
oh yeah, it's like 60-ish. There goes a fire engine. You know what those sound like. Yeah, it's kind of nice up here. It was 80 last week.
Yeah. Well, 80s you can survive that. When it gets above 80 is when and 80 and above, and humidity is when it's icky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been raining here. It's like going back to what it was 20 years ago, back to the rainforest. So who knows what it is doing really, but it's been beautiful. And since I don't have to pretend to work, all of the people who can be annoying aren't here between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. So that's when I'm here. That's when I enjoy the quietness and the birds and all of that stuff. And I have.
Where are they all during those hours?
Oh, they're trying to sell meth. Who knows what they're doing? They're trying. I mean, there is no work here. So they're trying to scam real estate things. They're trying to build glamping sites. God knows what they're doing. But at least, when you still do work, and we did stuff and you do stuff.
I am doing stuff. Yep.
What are your jobs like these days?
My jobs?
Yeah.
Well, we're still working for Jamie Dimon.
Oh, really?
Yep. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
we don't have as many contractors anymore. We used to have we would service maybe 10 contractors.
Yeah,
We're down
yeah.
down to 2 contractors now.
So you're not doing new work. You're just doing repair.
No, lots of new. Well, it's renovation. Park Avenue Apartments. We're doing one on 79th Street now.
Uh-huh.
Like 4 bathrooms, laundry room, kitchen.
Oh, holy moly!
So those are like I don't know, $80,000, $90,000 jobs.
Yeah,
Plumbing part.
yeah. Like $1 million altogether, or maybe a little more.
No, these are more like 2.2 kind of. They're very fancy on the contracting end.
Yeah.
Like I am sometimes surprised when I bid a job and it's like $80,000, and then I see the list for the plumbing fixtures and that was $100,000, and it pisses me off that you could spend more on the stuff we install than the work that it takes to do it.
So do you get the list? I used to do things like whatever things things I had to install. I'd see what they cost, and I would tack on a little percentage of whatever those fixtures cost onto my price.
But you weren't supplying fixtures or anything.
No. I would just find out what they cost and still tack on a little price just so they would work well. Because they weren't the average fixture. They would, and I'm sure the stupid, ridiculously expensive fixtures that you're installing aren't the usual fixture, right?
Yeah, it should cost a lot more. We used to do a lot of these Toto Neo-Rest toilets, and they cost $5,000.
Yeah.
And they blow on your ass after you're done. They wash you down. They blow warm air on there. The toilet seat is heated.
Does it have a little UV light to kill whatever germs?
It has all that kind of shit. Yeah, it has like a light going on and a cleansing cycle, and it's like there's a lot of extra steps. So I put in my contract various add $1,000 for this, add $1,000 for that. So it helps a little, but the thing that I can't keep up with is insurance. Our insurance now, it's Chris, Noel, and Gene. Those are the 3 employees in the field. That costs me for liability insurance. That costs me $1,260 a week.
A week?
A week.
A week?
Yeah, it adds up to $5,000
That's
a
what
month.
it used to cost us a year.
I know. Yeah. A week. It's ridiculous. We just had a big meeting this morning in the shop where I told the guys, I am now a bad employer and I'm not giving you personal days, sick days, mental health days, all that shit. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Everybody last week missed 2 days. It's like, you don't work, I don't get money, and then I'm going in debt. So no more of that shit. We're taking a break on that for a while.
Yep.
Well,
they've been with you
12
like your
laws.
children. They should obey.
Yeah, I wish that they would show up for work.
I know. That's one reason I stopped doing it. I got one of my ways of doing it when I was doing it out on Long Island was right at the 86 savings and loan crash. And all these guys had businesses that crashed, and then they tried to sell meth and blah, blah, blah. So they ended up in jail, and they came out, and no one would hire them. So I would hire all these guys who were really good. They were just alcoholic drug addicts out of jail, right? So they didn't have families. They couldn't rent a house. So they would live on the building sites that I had. And I would get them up with the sunrise with their egg McMuffin and a coffee, a big thermos of coffee. And they'd work until 3, and then they could go off and do, not go away, but could do whatever drugs, alcohol they wanted to do. And then they had to stop, because they only had X amount of money to spend on that shit. So they'd be semi-okay to start working at 6. And that worked pretty good. Keeping them, that's kind of indentured servitude, right?
In a way, yeah.
But
I don't remember that. That was while you lived in Long Island in that brick house?
It was the one that when the two kids, when it was a commercial building I had in that town. It had, I was making real fancy apartments upstairs and offices downstairs. That was my
Oh,
first.
I'm thinking of the one that Willie Lenski was living in. It was like a
Oh yeah,
nice
that was my,
suburban
that was one of the houses I was fixing up, and so no, this was a big job. I had 3 or 4 bigger jobs, that were
It was
like
the
that.
one that your father helped you finance.
Oh yeah, he was. Well, that was his whole thing. I mean, and I picked. I did all the work. I got everything together. We were making pretty good money, and he got upset that he didn't know what I was doing. But we were making money. You'd think that would be a good motivator, but pretty much, if I had stuck at that, I'd be a zillionaire by now, and I wouldn't be me. You know,
Yeah, I know the
kind of how
scene.
those things run out.
Oh,
So, have you ever seen Nancy Barber ever again?
that building is undergoing some kind of massive renovation. Finally, they got everybody out, and they, doing the big deal, make it safe for billionaire. Yeah.
Talking about making space for billionaires. How's your son doing?
He's good. It's his birthday this week, Saturday weekend, and we are having a birthday thingy at our
How old
house.
is he now?
36.
Man, I remember when we were 36. I thought we were old then.
We did a lot of things to make ourselves older then. It's hard to live life with a hangover 24 hours.
I know. Luckily, I couldn't do the that as much as most of you guys. I just couldn't drink. I mean, alcohol and me just don't do it. Do you remember the one time I got drunk in what's his name's apartment? His loft. Who's the guy who worked for you? Kind of.
Chris?
No. No.
Paul.
The guy with the International Harvester car.
Oh, Todd.
Todd. He and his whatever were again having a terrible thing, and I wasn't feeling good, and he took me out, and he was drinking, and I was drinking with him, and I got drunk and ended up in their bedroom vomiting.
Yeah, he was a massive drinker.
Yes, he was upset.
Hey, listen though, I gotta run in.
Okay, I just wanted to touch base with you. So it's good to once in a while think about these old times. And if you ever come to Tennessee, you got to stop here if I'm still here. Yeah, baby. Say hi to the gang. Okay. Bye. Yep. No, that was another one. Again, everyone has issues with their devices. Anyway, there's now 2 thumbs up. That's nice. And nobody here, but that's okay. You're getting a little flavor of Sensei L. Bob's past life back in the day. Artist, contractor, social activist, hero to the world. Let's see. Yeah, we're getting down there. Let's see. Anybody got any questions? Come on, guys. You got to come to the show and see if, bring a question or two, because that's what I'm good for, Just, running off at the mouth. It's like same as all the other shows. Anyway. 1 hour and 4 minutes. So when it's 1 hour and 44, 4, here it is. I'm going to go. I love you guys. You stay well. Remember, love is all there is.